Morning, Raptor Freak. Alexiot's here. It's Friday, so it's time for the Friday Freakout. Well, first, I just want to go over general news and notes for today. I'm not going to be on for very long today, guys. So, just real quick today, a couple things. First of all, as I've put in the title, Scottie Barnes is in the Bahamas. He's at a resort. He's having a great time down there. But you know what? I noticed something about Scottie Barnes being in Bahamas right now at the beach. It's not where he's supposed to be. It's not where he wants to be. And he's kind of like, yeah, I'm here because it's kind of like, you go through the reps and the motions on the court. Well, you kind of go through the reps and the motions of the whole NBA season. And this is just what you do. When you're eliminated from the playoffs, you go to the beach when you're a regular minutes guy who gets a lot of time on the court and you should be worn down. Well, this man's not worn down. Like, he doesn't look tired. He doesn't look like he needed to go on vacation. He just did it because that's the natural beat of next after this. So that's why he's there right now. In some ways, he said that he feels like he should be working out still right now, but like he's taking the time to rest because that's what normal starters do, rotation players do after a long NBA season. It's just he's a rookie, he has boundless energy, and he in some ways he'd rather be back here like with Delano and Justin and them working out and playing like crazy and still working hard right now. But he understands that this is the natural beat of things and that he has to get used to the whole schedule of the NBA season and what it means at different times. Now, obviously, part of the reason why he doesn't want to be on the beach right now is he wishes he was still playing in the playoffs right now. And that is fantastic because this is what we need him to want and think about a lot. Like maybe he's sitting on a beach chair down in the Bahamas thinking, man, I wish I was playing the Miami Heat tonight in game 3 instead of like being down here right now. I really do feel like that is something that is going through his head a lot right now. And this is the kind of thing that motivates people in the offseason to come back next season even better so that they push where they got in the playoffs even further. And I love that about him. And I think it's so awesome that he is that kind of guy and that he's going to be back and working really hard soon enough. But take that time and rest right now for now, Scotty, especially get that ankle right. But I can tell this isn't naturally where you want to be. You don't want to be resting and cozy and comfortable at a beach resort in the Bahamas. You want to be sweating, working hard, and putting it all on the court right now, whether it's in a playoff game or working out in the gym, getting your game up and getting it better. And I love you for it, Scotty. Yes, I do. All right, some just general current news and notes. Robert Covington was re-signed to the LA Clippers yesterday, so he's off the free agency market. So no power forward from them available at this point. And then another news and note, just real quick on top of that, is right now as it is, Joel Embiid is still out for Game 3 tonight. That he should not be playing for Miami should not be playing against Miami tonight in Philadelphia as of right now. Of course, news could change as the day goes on and stuff like that. And once again, as a Raptor fan and somebody who's got a channel here studying, talking about Raptors, is I wish him well, and I hope he suits up and plays tonight. Nobody likes that he's been out, and I hope he comes back tonight and gives a good effort for Philadelphia. Raymond Jacobs here because he should still be in it. Philly just wasting a second round spot should be us right now. Yes, Raymond. Yes, that's right. Scotty's not happy sitting in the beach at in Bahamas. So many people would trade places with him in a heartbeat. But no, that's not where Scottie Barnes wants to be right now. Getting a tan, laying out on the beach, having good times and stuff like that. No, 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 no. He wanted to still be playing right now. He really wanted to still be playing right now. And that is something about this rookie that I love so much, is that this is really big deal to him that they lost and that they're still out. It still stings a week later. Let's just put it that way. So, all right, one more thing real quick before I finish up today, guys, is I'm going to do my rant now. Former assistant coach of the Toronto Raptors, Brittany Donaldson, has tweeted in the last 24 hours that she's taken a challenge to the Toronto Raptors since that they've been the politically correct kind of woke social justice warriors of the league as a team with the Black Lives Matter bus and different things being outspoken on politics and different things like that. She's calling out the Raptors to make a statement about the recent Supreme Court memo that was leaked about them possibly overturning Roe versus Wade, and that she wants more a sports organization to take the lead on this. Well, Brittany, I understand what you're saying, and I do think that the Raptors would normally do this, but we're the Canadian team in this league, and this is the American Supreme Court. And I mean, listen, if we had more of a dog in the fight in this, maybe we should be standing up and saying something about it. But since they won't, and I will, I'm going to do it right now as a representative of Raptors Fan Nation. I'm going to go off and do my Friday Freakout on what has been leaked in this memo and just give them a reality check real quick. Sue's here. Good morning, everyone. I wish I was in the Bahamas on the beach, but love Scotty's Heart and Drive. Yes. All right. What does Roe versus Wade have to do with us? Is G saying. Yes, Brittany Donaldson, what does it have to do with the Raptors specifically? I mean, I am American and Canadian, and I do understand why it is very important in the States. And I do feel like this is a very important story. In fact, without even knowing that Brittany Donaldson was going to tweet this yesterday, I was already planning on freaking out about this week because, listen, there's not a whole lot for me to freak out about in Raptor Nation this week right now. So I'm going to go ahead and freak out on this. I'm going to say this about what this memo is saying and stuff like that is basically, listen, Supreme Court, if you are going to do this, you better do it full-heartedly because you're going to do something crazy if you don't do it like half-assed. Don't do it is what I'm going to say right now. Is like I would use an example of what Putin just did with Ukraine is basically what you would be getting yourself into with this Supreme Court if you decide to repeal Roe versus Wade. Is because basically, look, it may look real nice and from your side of point of view and what you want to accomplish and things in this world, but you don't understand the ripple effect or the things that will happen because of this. In fact, you're making a decision for a minority of what people want. There's not a majority that wants this overturned. That if you really ask people deep down inside, most people want the ability to have choice. Sure, in your everyday personal life, you can choose whether you do or not want to in this way, but choice is always better. And that the U.S. is a land of the free and the home of the brave and freedom of choice. And you want freedom. This is not a move that allows for freedom for the individuals or for people. This is limiting people with their choices as a government. And that is very, very un-American. That is very, very unfreedom. And that is more and more moving in the wrong direction for things as far as things. It's like you don't move back archaically back to a place where it was worse. Because I'm going to tell you right now, much like Putin found out when he went to Ukraine, it's not going to go the way you think it will. It's going to end up being a big fail for you in a lot of ways. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, Supreme Court. Because first of all, you're going to lose the faith of the people. You're going to lose the faith of the general population because people are going to look at you and you're going to be kind of looked at like the Taliban in some ways as a religious extremists. And that, this is a big problem. Nobody really actually wants this. Even the people that say that they want this, they don't really want it because the reality of it will change their life in a way that they don't want. These guys don't want to be able, they want to be able to have their mistresses have abortions. They want, people that are very poor that are anti-abortion, they need to have abortions, honestly, because they don't need all these mouths to feed and stuff like that. And what I'm saying is that you should have choice. You can choose not to have abortions. You can choose not to believe in them or want them to be around. But that doesn't mean you should be making that choice for every single other person in this world. Because all that's going to happen with this is going to be very similar to the Ukraine war. Innocent people are going to get hurt and they're going to die. And we're going to go back into the dark ages of abortion. And that is a very ugly, cruel place that is messed up. And that it's much better when it's controlled, regulated, and watched after in a safe environment. And that's what they're going to find is they're going to just cause a lot of innocent people death and misery and stuff like that. I don't believe in abortion myself. And I don't think that it should be used as birth control, obviously. And it's utilized for reasons that are really like important for different reasons and stuff like that. And they're personal reasons that people don't need to know quite often. So it's a very touchy subject. And I'm not saying that I'm pro-life or anything like that, but I am pro-choice. Because I always feel like people need choices and they need the freedom to have the choices and stuff like that. So listen, if you do this, Supreme Court, you're going to be taking the country of the United States back like 50 years into the past. And they're going to be it's going to be an ugly, dark place. And what you're going to find is your backlash for doing it may be way worse than the effect that you wanted with it. And that you may find that you have a lot of unpopular sentiment and a lot of people coming after you. And this may actually have a very similar effect to what's happened to Putin and his oligarchs in Russia for going into Ukraine. That the people will uprise and the people will say, no, we do not condone this. No, we do not stand for this. And then you're going to have a whole bunch of shit on your hands. It's going to be a real problem because the people will not stand for this. That's the thing we're finding out in this new world where we're all interconnected on social media and on the internet. We can get organized and we can get things done in other ways that you didn't even think about. And that's the thing that Putin didn't realize when he tried to invade Ukraine. And this is the same thing with this in a lot of ways. You want to go ahead and make that mistake? Well, you're going to find out all the repercussions. And you may not even realize what the repercussions are. In fact, you may be just handing the midterms to the Democrats if you do this. I'm just going to say that right now. You may be handing the power of the country over to the other side because you made such an unpopular opinion. And I'm all for it. In fact, in some ways, I hate the idea of misery and innocent people suffering and having horrible things happen to them in their lives because a minority of people, religious zealots, want one thing and they got their game, the system, and made this happen. Yeah. So listen, you will go ahead and make this mistake. You will find out the repercussions of it from the people. And they will let it be known. And you know what? It's going to ruin the Supreme Court of the United States. It's going to make it even more so a shell of justice, a shell of working for the people, because you will do something that the people do not honestly want. Even the people that say they want this, they do not deep down in their heart want this because they're going to have them just as much. And it's all going to be in a back alley and it's going to be dangerous and there's going to be lives lost. That's ultimately the thing. When these power players and these people that try and do these powerful things and, going for Ukraine or, ending abortion, they don't realize that innocent people suffer, that innocent people die, and that innocent lives are changed. And that is the biggest problem with all this. So you go ahead, fuck around and find out, Supreme Court of the United States. Go ahead. You have a leaked memo. You're trying to set it up to say, oh, we put it out there so it's not so stark and controversial as soon as it comes out. This is all planned. That leak is on purpose so that it's out and talking, and we are all primed and ready just in case they do it, is basically what it is. So I'll say right now, make that mistake. And I'm with Brittany Donaldson. Somebody needs to talk about this. We all need to talk about this. Even if we're in Canada. I know that in Canada, we have these kind of rights here and they should be insured, but I don't see how they would change it here to make a dumb decision like they are in the States. All right, let me just see what you guys are saying real quick. I don't want to talk about this too in depth. I know this is controversial. I do want to say that I support both sides of seeing it. I just think that it's already been adjudicated and that the way it is right now with Roe versus Wade is very important. And that should not be overturned. And that if they do this, they're kind of going back on some things that have already been figured out in the Supreme Court. And that's wrong. Yeah. All right. Let me see what's going on here real quick. All right. Sue's saying Roe versus Wade should be something we should all be concerned with. This kind of thing has ripple effect over the whole world. This is a step backward for women's rights. Yes. Yes. This is exactly why. Sue is exactly why. Why should we care about this in Canada? Because it does have a ripple effect, and that the U.S. is, even as fucked up as that country is an example, a role model for the rest of the world. And that when they do things like this, it does have a ripple effect. Sue is exactly right. Let's see. Sue's also saying, unfortunately, Lex, the Republicans only want freedom and freedom of speech when it is something they agree with. They don't want rights for freedom of choice, LGBTQ rights, and it's a double standard. Yeah, you're right, Sue. And that's part of the reason why we have to call them out on their bullshit. One of the problems in the States is that so much gerrymandering, so much like really bad representation that they're not really people that are actually representing the people. That they're really representing a very minority, small group of rich people or certain people, and that they're not actually working for the people as a whole or the majority. And that's the sad thing. It's very, very true. G saying true, but pointing out the Raptors, the only non-American team, seems odd for me. Call out the entire league and all teams, if you want to point it out. Just my opinion. I'm with G also. I don't think it's totally fair, Brittany, to call out the Raptors to do it. And that maybe there's some other people in the NBA, some other team that can take the lead on this in some other ways, like Milwaukee did with the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. It's, this is true. I think you're right, G, that it really shouldn't be on us. And in some ways, what Brittany's saying seems like a little salty because she has kind of called out our team a couple times on Twitter recently. But I do think that there's something to this, that maybe male sports leagues, maybe not basketball, maybe baseball or hockey or football, need to do something about this and say something about this. I agree with this. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily us is the right one because I don't know how effective our team would be in doing it because we are the Canadian team. G's right. Sue's saying the Republican Party should be the all over freedoms, but they don't. Yeah, they're supposed to be the Freedom Party. They're supposed to be, they're not libertarians. Libertarians love freedom. They want freedom of choice, and this decision is not libertarian in itself. So any self-describing libertarian out there should be against this decision also because it's against freedom of choice. And yeah, Leslie's saying, imagine if women told men to get the snip at 50. Would that be okay? Honestly, I'm a weird guy. I think that equality is really important. And yeah, maybe, you guys should have more rights to tell us how we use our bodies if we're doing it to y'all. I mean, seriously. It's not right either way, honestly. But listen, you have a good example here, Leslie, and this is completely true. It's like, why aren't men taking more of the onus on things? Go ahead and get the vasectomy. Go ahead and go do the different things for birth control as far as things with this and stuff like that. I completely agree. And part of the insidious thing about the Supreme Court possibly doing this is that they really want to hurt women in general, as far as like saddle them with possibilities of having to be at home and all this kind of stuff. It's shown in some of the comments that people like Congressman Matt Gaetz said this week about women being too overeducated and them knowing too much, and we want to keep them dumb and in the house barefoot and pregnant is basically what he was saying. So there's a lot of that sentiment with the Republican Party, that they want women in their place in their mind, and that's in the kitchen. And the best way to do that is if they get pregnant, they have to have the baby and have more family and be involved in that way. And it keeps them out of the workplace and all this kind of stuff. It's very fucked up and very messed up in some ways. Like some of the real underlying reasons for why they want to ban abortion is really kind of messed up. It's anti-women's rights is basically what I'm saying here. Sue's saying, I agree, G, that she should not be calling out the Raptors. She should be calling out the NBA because American teams should be standing up for this. Yeah, exactly. Like, call out the other teams. Like I said, I don't know what happened with her departure from us. I don't think it was good because she has called us out a couple times. She said something. She tweeted something about the inbounds play where we let Joel hit the three in game 4 and said something like, yeah, well, this play was all screwed up, and she was kind of critiquing it. So I think there's a little bit of salt that's involved in this, but also, with what she's saying is valid, is important, but maybe not our team specifically, that the NBA, somebody in the NBA needs to do something, say something about this. Leslie's saying, choose for yourself, not for others. Exactly. And this is so important. It's like, well, why do you want to be so controlling, Supreme Court? Why do you want to tell people what they can and can't do in their lives and stuff like that? And like I said, this is the thing. They're not going to outlaw abortion. They're not going to ban abortion. Abortion is going to happen no matter what. It's going to be more dangerous and unsafe and all kinds of different. It may be more scarring to women because it's so weird and like undercover and stuff like that. That's the thing you don't want. You want it to be not that you want it to happen, but you want it to be in a safe place. Like legalization of prostitution and drugs in Europe has been really good in a lot of ways because it allows for controlling it and making it more safe. Like if you're legalizing prostitution and then you're testing prostitutes regularly, that's more safe. If you're legalizing drugs and you have safe drug stations where people can do drugs and they have somebody there to save them if they're in trouble, this makes it more safe. And what you're doing is you're putting it in the undercover of darkness and you're making it way more unsafe for women if they do need to make this choice and stuff like that. And that's really what's problem with it. Geez, yeah, we're all on the same page here today, it seems like, for the most part. And yeah, it really isn't on the Raptors in some ways because we're Canadian, but I agree with Sue also. This has a ripple effect, and we should all kind of stand guard and stuff like that. Like, how do you think it would ever possibly happen here? Do you think Canada would actually try and do anything like this, ban abortions? I don't think so. But who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Adriana's here. Adriana's saying women should have the right over their own bodies and have a safe place for medical procedures. Yes, Adriana. Great first comment, Adriana. I appreciate you being here. We're here every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking Raptors. But today, there's some things that are just bigger than basketball. And, we've been called out about talking about this. So I'm going to do it for Brittany today. Yeah, right on, Adriana, says Sue. And thumbs up to G from Sue. Paul B saying good morning. Good morning, Paul. Monique's here. Good morning, Monique. Good to see you, super fan Monique. Adriana is saying also their own bodies, laugh out loud, need to spell better. Okay. You're just fixing what you said earlier. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Mo. And Leslie's saying the Raptors are probably the most progressive and socially aware organization in the NBA. They may even be in all of sports, like in some ways. Like, look, I didn't see very many other teams getting involved in politics like we have in the last couple years. In some ways, being the only Canadian team in the league, we can kind of get away with it in some ways. And that's great. I love it. I love that aspect about us, honestly, and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, I didn't want to go too long today. I just wanted to have a little spiel. I'll say it once again, Supreme Court, you want to make a big, huge mistake, you will make a big, huge mistake, and people's lives will be affected. And it won't be in a good way. And you're going to realize that you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. That you may cause a chain of events that may not work out for you in a way in the long run, as far as things with the people in the United States not being okay with this decision. Because listen, you can motivate a lot of people. Like, there's very strong women in my chat right here that have very strong opinions about this, and you can get their ire and you can get their gumption up, and they can be very motivated to be powered up against you in all kinds of different ways. And don't ever underestimate that, because that is way more powerful than you are in a lot of ways. The women of the United States standing up for themselves and their rights, their reproductive rights. And that if you do this, you're going to cause a chain reaction politically and in all kinds of different ways that will not work out for you. I'm going to tell you right now, it'll be just like how Putin stepped in a big pile of shit in Ukraine. You will step in a big pile of shit and you won't like what happens then. So go ahead and try us. Basically, I'm saying right now, the women of the United States are Clint Eastwood and Dirty Harry. And they're saying, I know what you're thinking. You're wondering how many bullets I shot. Go ahead, make my day, SCOTUS. You want to make you're not going to make their day, but you're going to make them have something where they're going to come and get you for it. I'm going to tell you right now. And it'll be in the voting booth. It'll be with their voices. It will be activating them. And you will not like this. I'm going to tell you right now, you will not like the Supreme Court. So don't even go there. Don't even go there. Realize this is a non-starter and this is all said and done. That this has been done for so many years now that you're dragging this shit up right now in your archaic Handmaid's Tale bullshit world in your head. So you're going to find out real quick how the power of the women in this world and in the United States and this continent and Canada also will come up against you and meet you versus and take you down. Because you will get taken down by the women in this world because they are way stronger than y'all and they will do it. Yeah. Let's see. Sue's saying, unfortunately, Canada does follow U.S. a lot. Look at the leaders. When they vote in Democrats, we vote in liberal. When they vote in Republicans, we vote in conservatives. Yeah, I worry about this because it seemed like Harper was Bush, and then like we had Trudeau is Obama. And now I don't want a Trump here. I do not want a Trump in the next election cycle. We don't need any idiot like that up here trying to run things. So, we just got to be steadfast and use our government and our systems here to stop that kind of stuff, that kind of insanity from being up here. We don't want to be like 4 years behind the US and taking everything, especially since we just seen their last 4 years before Biden. And we don't want to be on that election cycle. Sue's saying they get Trump and we get Ford. They get Obama, we get Trudeau. They get Bush, we get Harper. Yeah, I don't want Ford. Like, see, Ford should never be the prime minister. He should never ever get to that point. Really shouldn't be. Yeah, Tom Duke said, "Whoa, talking about Trump, Tom. Yeah, we are, but I'm just about to sign off, Tom. So you can catch me non-live and stuff like that." Let's see, real quick. Monique sends message to LeBron: "You ain't getting Adrian Griffin. Let's hope not." They really want Adrian now, but I've heard a couple of different names, Monique, as far as things, but they definitely have asked to interview Adrian Griffin, stuff like that. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. It's actually a real compliment. Like, I saw a really cool meme yesterday of Greg Popovich's coaching tree and how out of the 8 teams that are left in the playoffs right now, 6 of the coaches are from the coaching tree of Greg Popovich as either a coach or a player under him. So 6 of the 8 coaches that are coaching right now have a direct connection to Greg Popovich. So what we want to do is get that tree growing for Nick Nurse. So if Adrian Griffin becomes the coach of the Lakers, God help him. That's a mess. And that would be really crazy, tough job to do. But if he wants to go do it, that's branching out the Nick Nurse coaching tree. Okay, y'all. I'm just going to go ahead and go right now. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe if you can. And yeah, listen, Supreme Court of the United States, don't make a big bad mistake. You know, you're trying it out. Maybe this leak is a tester to see how people will react. And you're going to see real quick how people will react to this. And it's not going to be good. And you're going to agitate and motivate a huge base of people and voters to come at you in this year if you do this. I'm going to tell you right now. So don't step on it. Don't even go there. Don't even try them. Don't even try any of us, because that's what you would be doing. You'd be trying us. And you'll find out real quick that you're not messing with something you don't want to mess with. Because listen, back in the day, getting this organized and fighting and having Roe versus Wade happen was harder then. Now it's much easier because there's social media in all kinds of different ways, and people can get on the same page real quick and get organized and make things happen in counter to this. So trust me, you do not want this Supreme Court, even if this is something you promised your constituents and all this other bullshit, these people that you're doing it for, the minority of people, because like I said, a lot of people who are anti-abortion are still for choice. You can be both. You can be anti-abortion, not believe in it, not want it around you, or not have it anywhere in your life, but you can still believe in choice and allowing other people to have it. And that's what most sane people, most people that aren't trying to control other people's lives, believe in this world. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. All right, let's go, Raptors. Let's get Scottie off the beach and back in the gym. He wants to be playing basketball, y'all. He's not happy laying around. He wants to be in there working and sweating and putting it all on the court. That's where he wants to be. He doesn't want to be at the beach. Come home, Scottie. Get back on the court. Yeah, let's go, Raptors.